Welcome to CBC. You are watching Chakrabarti analytical program. I'm Bakhtiar Asanov in Baku, and our guest is the President of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, Suma Chakrabarti. He will talk about the Ebrd's activity in Azerbaijan, as well as the prospects of the future cooperation. Hello, Mr. President. Welcome to Azerbaijan, and I congratulate you on your re-election as the President of the Ebrd for a second four-year term.
Thank you very much.
What is the aim of the visit to Azerbaijan this time? And what has been discussed in Baku, and have you signed any new agreements here?
The objective of the visit was really to review the quality and the performance of our partnership with Azerbaijan. I think it's going from strength to strength. We had very good meetings with the President, of course, Minister of Economy. We saw the Financial Market Supervision Authority, the banking sector, civil society. So we had a very wide range of meetings, and I think everyone has agreed that overall the partnership between Ebrd and Azerbaijan is going from strength to strength.
Last year, during your visit to Baku, you said that Ebrd intends to expand cooperation with the Azerbaijani government and to prepare a new project. What has been done by the bank in this regard, and in which areas of the Azerbaijan economy is the bank interested in?
Well, first of all, we are at a very important juncture in our relationship with Azerbaijan. If you look back over the last 24, 25 years, 2.5 billion euros of investment, over 180 projects by Ebrd in a wide range of sectors. That's a very successful start to the relationship. But what we now need to do is really help Azerbaijan shift even more towards supporting the non-oil private sector. So what we've been discussing here this time round is how can we do more of that? It's good that we're doing more non-oil private sector projects. In the last 2 years, we've done nearly 30 non-oil private sector projects. That's very good news. But we need to really do even more in the wide range of sectors, whether it's agribusiness, tourism, manufacturing, highways, all of these sectors, the banking sector as well. That's going to be crucial. So a big part of our discussion this time round was, of course, on some big projects like the Southern Gas Corridor, but it was also about how can we rejuvenate, really push the banking sector to start lending again, and lending in Manat to SMEs, for example.
How would you describe the significance of Azerbaijan for the Ebrd?
Azerbaijan is one of our most important partners, it really is. It's important in its own right because for Azerbaijan, what has happened in the last 25 years has been one of the great economic development stories. If you looked at the poverty rates in Azerbaijan back in the early 2000s, 50% of the population living below the poverty line. Within a decade, it was down to about 6%. That's been a great success. Ebrd has been part of that success. We have been pushing particularly private sector growth, of course, working also on the oil and gas sector, but we've been a real part of that success story. So Azerbaijan is important symbolically to that, because during that period we've helped Azerbaijan move towards a much more market-based economic model. That's been great. And Azerbaijan's been important also, I think, in terms of the region, the Caucasus particularly, but generally this region which is really trying to actually, grow faster, trying to modernize as quickly as possible, and we have been part of that story, I think, with Azerbaijan. So it's important on many, many different levels.
Mr. President, since the beginning of the cooperation, the Ebrd said the non-oil sector is important in expansion of cooperation with Azerbaijan. And what kind of support is the bank ready to provide Azerbaijan to diversify its economy, given the difficult situation in the energy market in the world?
Well, I think it's important to do two things, and we have to do these two things together and at the same time. One is investment. So clearly Ebrd must invest in the non-oil private sector. And that's why it's important that we push into sectors like agribusiness. We help with the municipalities improve their services to the people as well. But we really need to work on the non-oil private sector. And SMEs are fundamentally important. Now, the SMEs don't want to borrow in foreign currency. They want to borrow in local currency. So I want to help the banking system lend to SMEs in local currency. And I want also, in a few months' time, I hope, to issue a local currency bond in Manat, again to help the capital markets develop here. That's very important. That's the investment side. But investment alone is not going to be enough. We need also to help the Azerbaijan government really improve the policy situation, the policy reforms that will help attract more investors to Azerbaijan. Also, it will help stimulate domestic investment. And here I would point out, I think things are going very well, because the Azerbaijan government has already started to simplify its inspections, its customs procedures. All of these things, the ASEAN network, these are helping to reduce petty corruption in the country. That makes it much more attractive for enterprises in this country to flourish. So policy reform as well as investment, those are the two things we should do.
And which reforms you consider the most successful in Azerbaijan?
I think the ones I mentioned. I think the ASEAN network, I think, is a real model for the region. I think both Georgia and Azerbaijan have gone down this route of one-stop shops for public services, and that's been a really good thing, particularly if you can use more online ways of payments and so on. That makes it much harder to have corrupt practices. That's been great. Secondly, when I started coming to Azerbaijan some 3-4 years ago, a lot of discussion around corruption based around the customs system in particular was a real difficulty. You know, it's great to come here this time and hear from the NGOs, from the civil society, that they're saying this is reduced because the customs administration is really being reformed, and that has made a major difference to how, you know, entrepreneurs can work in future, and that's good news.
Mr. President, recently TOPS groundbreaking ceremony was held in Greece, and the consortium on TOPS development expects to receive funding from a number of international institutions, including from the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. And could you tell us about the plans of the bank in this regard?
Yeah, well, we don't discuss the amounts of financing yet, but it will be large, and that's for sure. And EBRD is very proud to be part of this consortium. We're working on the project now. We're looking at the due diligence of the project, and, you know, making sure it really is going to be very strong and very viable. And I expect it to be a very successful project in the coming months.
And the bank said that it's going to allocate 1.5 billion euros.
Possibly up to it. I mean, this is the idea, this is the framework, the envelope, if you like, that we have put forward. Let's see exactly how much we need to allocate when it actually comes to the actual financing. But yeah, we're ready with the financing, definitely, for this project.
Are you also planning to invest in TANA project?
Very much so. I think we're looking at this. We're working very closely with all the potential financiers, the consortium, and I think it's going to be very, very important, this project, for Azerbaijan's future, of course, and for the region. And so we are now working on the project with the others, and we're going to come up with a large financing package, again, which will be subject to our board's approval.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your comprehensive replies to the questions.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to come to Azerbaijan. Thank you.
This was the President of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, Suma Chakrabarti. Thank you for watching. See you next time.